We're not happy with just one count of attempted aggravated assault. Again, we believe when we're done, we'll have at least one, if not up to 3 counts of attempted murder.
That is Austin Police Chief Acevedo talking about one of the rock throwing cases that nearly ended one driver's life. I wanted to pull pictures of that driver, and I know it's graphic, but that's Ken Johnson, and he was traveling on I-35 when a rock smashed through his windshield, and he is suffering still this morning, nearly 2 years after these cases started, because he had to have part of his skull removed. Police Chief Acevedo is here. Chief, I heard you with a sigh of relief and just still a sigh of sadness when you look at his pictures, because are you talking about how Mr. Johnson, Pat Johnson, attempted to murder this guy driving on I-35? Is this the case you were talking about?
That is the case I'm talking about. And from my perspective, any case, any attempt to throw the type of rocks that Mr. Johnson was throwing after that incident, where he's clearly on notice that his conduct is deadly, his conduct is extremely dangerous, to me are all attempted murders. And so we're going to push hard. We're going to push hard with the DA's office, and I think that once they look at all the evidence and everything that happened, they're going to agree with us.
94 cases of attacks that we have documented here in Austin. How many can you connect Pat Johnson to?
I'm going to tell you that we're going to connect a good number to him. We're still in the process of going through evidence to tie him into specific cases. We're confident we're going to tie him into a lion's share of those cases. And at the end of the day, we know that there's a couple of copycats running around out there. Mm-hmm. We already have one that's completely in our sights, and we anticipate an arrest on that individual. And my warning to folks is that this isn't a game. This is deadly conduct. This is extremely dangerous conduct, and we're not going to tolerate it. And now we have measures in place where we know what we're doing, and we're going to come after them.
Listening to your press conference yesterday when you talked about that copycat, tell me a little bit about this person. What can you say as far as, did this start after the initial attacks, or is this person still a threat on the roads today?
Well, this person, I don't think this person is going to be a threat. He knows that we know, and it's just a matter of now putting the case together and bringing him to justice.
So are people safe driving on I-35 now with this arrest?
I think with this arrest, people are much safer, but remember that rock throwing and these kind of idiotic behavior is not just, we're not immune from it, neither is any other community. These things happen. And you always have to be aware of your situation, your surroundings. And people need to, when they see people acting suspiciously or doing something that looks out of the ordinary, just give us a call so we can check it out.
Your investigators looking over the court documents, that arrest warrant said that he has confessed to 2 cases. Did you talk to your investigators as far as what was his demeanor? What is he like? What is he saying about the attacks?
Well, I think most of us that know Pat Johnson, he's kind of been a thorn on the side of a lot of people, probably the media as well, right. and City Hall, and somebody that just wastes so much of the time at City Hall with his rants about towing and everything else, knows that he's a little bit of a strange duck. So who knows what his demeanor is like. All I know is that we caught him, we've got evidence, and we're going to throw the book at him.
Looking into his background, I know that you can't talk too much about it, but we looked into his background and we found out that he is no stranger to the Austin Police Department. There are charges pending and charges that are can be brought forth in a courtroom later on this month when it comes to an unrelated issue. So my question to you, Chief, this was a charge that happened back in 2013. If he is your guy, if he is your rock thrower, is it in retaliation to police for investigating him?
You know, that's a possibility. And if you think about when this series of incidents occurred, they occurred after that investigation, after he was charged, and so that could be a motivation that caused him to do that. The bottom line, though, is that I don't really care what motivated him. His conduct, regardless of his motivation, was deadly, and his conduct, and as far as I'm concerned, was attempted murder.
Your message out there to the survivors of this attack, including Ken Johnson?
Well, my message to Mr. Johnson and to all the survivors, especially the 3, including Mr. Johnson, that were injured seriously. I'm sorry it took this long, but it was a tough type of case to crack, and I'm just glad that we caught him, and I'm hopeful that we'll get you the justice that you so richly deserve. And to the rest of the victims out there, remember this guy, we're confident, would come back to the scene to look at the damage that he caused, the havoc that he wreaked on people. Look at that picture that we released yesterday. You find it online. And please, we're going to reach out to you anyway, but let us know because that's part of proving the cases against him, each and every count.
You bet. His picture and the hotline is on our website at kxan.com. Chief, always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.